Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and today we're going to talk about how modern engaged dungeon masters start planning for Dungeons and Dragons campaigns now, because it has just absolutely massively changed. All right, so let's talk about it. Okay, so so let's talk about the old days, years and years ago, right? If you were a dungeon master, how did you start? With a pen and a pad up in the lab. Exactly the way Eminem wrote a rap song, right? You would just sit down with a piece of graph paper and a pen, and you get all your books together and you'd start, right? That's for schmuck DMs now, man. That is the lowest form of rank nonsense that any dungeon master would ever even consider. How do we do it now? Woo! It has changed, all right? So there's two brand new ways to do that modern engaged dungeon masters build Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. So first of all, right, you sit like the way I do it, the way I did it a week ago, and that's changing now, right? Let's talk it through, right? So the way I do it like a week ago was I would sit down with about 20,000 Magic the Gathering cards, right? And first thing I'll do is I will say, okay, I'm going, so where do I start? When I go to Dungeons & Dragons and I'm going to build my Dungeons & Dragons campaign, I start with Adventures in Forgotten Realms, right? The Magic the Gathering Adventures in Forgotten Realms set. When it comes to Dungeons & Dragons, Wizards of the Coast is like, when you're thinking about Dungeons & Dragons, think about Adventures in Forgotten Realms, the Magic the Gathering set. And I pull out Dristoward, and he's my starting character, right? And then I pull out Liliana Vess. She's going to link to Strixhaven. And then I pull out Elspeth, and she's going to be my link to Dominaria, right? And then I make sure that I have my Kaladesh Planer's Bridge, and I connect that to the cube, the Fortnite planer, the Fortnite Planer Bridge, right? So now I have a Planer Bridge directly over to Fortnite, and the first thing I'm going to add to my Dungeons & Dragons game is Naomi Osaka, because she's all up in Fortnite, and she is going to be interacting with Dristoward as he travels, right, on a Spelljammer ship straight from Eberron, and Naomi Osaka and Dristoward are going to travel to Icewind Dale, right? That's how you do it now, right? And all of that is coming from my Dungeon Master deck, right? That's how a campaign starts a week ago. How does it start now? Okay, D&D has said, hey, when you think about D&D, you think about Lego. When you think about Legos, you think about Dungeons and Dragons. So now, starting today, right? When I am going to build my next campaign, I'm going to get my two 48 stud gray Lego, official Lego, because it resonates with Dungeons and Dragons now, gray base plate, right? And I'm going to get the Scooby-Doo set, right? The Lego Scooby-Doo set, and I'm going to have Velma, my minifig, and I'm going to have Fred, my minifig, and I'm going to have Daphne, my minifig, Shaggy, my Lego minifig, and Scooby-Doo, my Lego minifig, right? Now, we don't have the official set, so I have to choose and build out with official Legos Strixhaven, right? And so, because we don't know yet what set will be there, so until we get the officials, we'll have to build using existing Lego bricks, but I already know what the bibliothèque looks like. So I get my 48 by 48 Lego gray Lego base plate, 48 by 48, and I build out the fire. Oh, of course I'll build out the Fire Jolt Cafe, because I got the map, right? And then I'm going to build that bridge, that physical bridge, right, directly over to the Lego Scooby-Doo set, and of course, Daphne and Scooby and Shaggy and Fred and and Velma, the whole Scooby gang are going to go right over into they'll walk stud by stud over the bridge, the physical Lego bridge from their Lego Scooby-Doo world into the Lego Dungeons and Dragons world, right? Which right now we're gonna have to build it with just what we already have in Lego, right? We're going to have to wait to see exactly which Lego D&D figs. And so when they get there, they'll only be able to occupy that physical space. We don't know, we don't have any official Lego. We don't know if Dritz Do'Urden or Canterbury or Elminster is going to be the official Lego minifig, right? So right now, the connection is going to be location to location, right? So old schmuck DMs used to sit down with a pen and a pad and, start scrawling on some, blue lined paper. Now, when you start a Dungeons & Dragons game, you start with your scenario deck, your Magic the Gathering scenario deck. You mix in, all these different cards that have the same back. Anything that has that same back as Dritz Do'Urden, right? You're going to put them together. They're both cast in the same way by the Planeswalker, right? And, and that's how we used to do it. And now Dungeons & Dragons planning for a campaign starts with the 48 by 48 Lego gray base plate, right? And we don't even know what's coming next. We don't know how physically the entire game is shifting, and how Dungeons & Dragons is absolutely connecting to literally 1,000+ different worlds. It is astounding, right? Nothing escapes the orbit of Dungeons & Dragons, and Dungeons & Dragons click, 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 quite literally now, connection to other worlds is the major push of the Dungeons & Dragons design team and the Magic the Gathering design team and the Lego design team and the Citadel Warhammer design team. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing, and I am so here for it. What about you? Are you excited as I am? How are you? Are you doing your games? How have you moved beyond the pen and the pad up in your lab? Right? How are you changing how you sit down and get ready for Dungeons & Dragons? And what are the physical objects that are now there because we've left behind the pencil and the graph paper? I'd love to hear how you're processing all this. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider subscribing. Have a wonderful millennium.